do a massive declutter, and then let's see how the house gets without much cleaning at all in between a few days. So let's go see what my house looks like. So I haven't cleaned, and I figured now I'll show you what the rooms look like, and then we will clean the rooms. Then you'll see even more of how clutter is kind of accumulating. It's 2025. Let's do a massive declutter. Let's get my home minimal. Let's see if it helps me to maintain my home and keep up with it and clean it. So come join me. I challenge you to do a declutter with me. Let's test it out and find out where our clutter is in our home and fix it. Hi friends. So today we are doing some massive decluttering. So as you know, I'm trying to become minimal and more minimal, but my goal is to get rid of even more. So I started going through things last night because I couldn't sleep, so there are piles of things. Sorry, but I wanted to go through some things with you, and I'm hoping that this will encourage y'all to declutter as well and to simplify your home. You have to go to the extreme that maybe I'm going to. It's like the more and more I'm getting rid of, the more and more I'm like, I can get rid of more. I can get rid of more. I don't need all of this. So let's go. Are you ready? Let's try this together. And even if it's a drawer for you, let's try simplifying certain rooms or certain spaces. Let's do a massive declutter, and then let's see how the house gets without much cleaning at all in between a few days. So let's go see what my house looks like. Hi friends, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Whitney, and on this channel I do cleaning motivation, decluttering, and organizing, and all that fun stuff. But today I wanted to I had an idea of, I wanted to do another massive declutter, and I wanted to see what my house would be like after a few days of hardly cleaning. Now, there have been sporadically I've had to clean after cooking or something, but I have not been doing any massive cleaning over about 3 days. Where are all the messes going to be? Now, once I declutter, which the first day is all about decluttering, the next few days I will be going back in and cleaning. So at the end, stay for the end to see where the messes are, where I need to continue to declutter, and how my home is going to end up looking. And will it help me in the end to maintain my home more easily? And will it help me overall to be able to spend less time cleaning and more time with my family? We're going to go through all of this and get rid of as much as possible. And we have our box for donation, and we have our bag for trash. Okay, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is trash. This is trash. We will keep these here, but I don't ever use it. So if I need to log in anything into my calendar or something, I use my phone. So trash. And this is a brush that I don't use. I don't even remember what it came from. First day, I am doing another massive declutter, and I declutter quite often. I always keep like things that I know I want to get rid of. Every month there's usually a couple of bags or so of just things that we outgrow or that we don't need anymore. But because I have wanted to see if getting rid of more would help me be able to maintain the home easier, I wanted to see what I would find out if I got rid of even more things and keeping things to the very minimal. So this first day is all about decluttering, and then the next time I hop on is after about 3 days of very minimal cleaning. There was nothing massive. I wasn't going around cleaning after everyone. We weren't trying to pitch in as a family to pick up a huge mess or anything like that. So I will tell you at the end what I have found and what think about a massive declutter and what I think about minimalism. So I know that I rave about it a lot, and I just want to tell you, did I miss anything? Is there any of this stuff that I've gotten rid of that I miss? And I will let you know at the end all of my thoughts and all of what I think about minimalism. But for now, I am kind of tackling my bedroom. That's where I wanted to start because that is my space. That is where I feel the most comfortable, and I want to be at peace when I'm in my room. And then I wanted to tackle in my closet. So my closet is one of the areas in my home who has been becoming a minimalist for a while, but my closet happens to be one of the areas that I struggle with the most because we live in a mobile home. There isn't much storage, so we kind of store everything just about that we own in our closet. And the kids' closets are all very small. And then we have my closet and a laundry room. We don't have any pantry. We don't have a lot of storage for a lot of things. So that's what I'm trying to get at, and I can't think. So anyway, I am not a dress wearer. I hold on to these dresses because I think, oh, someday I might want to wear a dress. But the truth is, if I ever dress up, I always go for pants and a shirt and high heels. That is just how it's going to go. So why hold on to things that I know that I am just not going to ever grab for? And all of my shirts, there are certain shirts that I'm like, "Ugh, I don't really like it on me." And I like to be able to just go in my closet, and any shirt that I pick out, I know I'm going to be comfortable in. I know that I'm going to like. I don't want to have to go in here and pick out a shirt, put it on, and then realize, "Ugh, I don't really like it on me," and then go back in and try it all again. I want to know every piece of clothing I like. Now, another place that I tend to hoard is makeup. Makeup and like the Stanley cups, which I don't really use Stanley, but those type of cups, I tend to just hoard those. That is where my hoarding problems are. And after years and years of doing decluttering without even realizing that I was becoming minimalist, I have realized all the areas that I struggle with the most. And this is just too much makeup for one person. I can't wear all of this. So I wanted to narrow it down to all fitting in one of these little containers and then putting them back into these clear drawers up and organized. But the key is going through everything and seeing everything that I have. And do I wear it? Will I wear it? And it's not will I wear it for some special occasion? Is it something that I grab for regularly? And if the answer is no, or if if I don't see myself probably needing it in the near future, I am getting rid of it. If I have tons and tons of eyeliners, that means I'm not using all of these. So I was pretty harsh on myself because my goal is to get rid of as much as possible. Okay, this is the one I'm getting rid of. This is all that I'm keeping. I know it's still a lot, but that's pretty good for me. I don't know. And this makeup over here is my car makeup. I just gotta go put it in my car. I am so proud of myself because this pile here is the pile that I'm getting rid of out of my closet. And this ended up being 2 bags worth. And then by the time these 2 days were over, I had like 10 bags from all over the house. It might have been more, but at least 10 bags that I counted, plus like a beanbag chair, a guitar that the kids never play with. All of it got donated, and there was just so many things. Now, we didn't go through an awful lot of clothes because typically I go through clothes regularly. But right here is my other stash of just things that I keep on hand, like hair dyes. I used to do self tanners, and I always think I'm going to do that again, but no, I didn't get rid of it. So, and then I have my little camera, and I was sitting here debating for a while. I never use my sewing kit. I never use it. Typically, if clothes or something ends up torn or ripped, I usually just get rid of it because it's just easier. And then we typically have enough clothes that it's not a big deal. So the sewing kit I really debated about, and that's probably something that I will go back in and declutter. I've had it for years, and I've only ever broken it out every once in a while. Now here I have 3 wallets, and I'm like, I don't need 3 wallets. I have 1 wallet that I'm using now, so I was like, we'll keep 1 extra. So that's the one I decided on, and that was also very hard for me as well. And now we are tackling, this one's hard because a lot of this stuff I need for work, for YouTube, but I was like, I surely can go through this and declutter a lot of these chargers and things that were mixed in, because this is all things like that. Sheets, I decluttering 1 set of sheets because we don't need 2 or 3 pair of sheets. I typically wash my sheets and put them back on. And I have 1 extra pair just in case there was, a throw up or something gross with motherhood. I got 4 kids, so I keep 1 extra pair of sheets for our bed, and that's where I store all that. And then I was going through, this is my socks, my underwear, and my bras. I'm just kind of going through all those and making sure that I wear everything that's in there. And if I don't wear it regularly, it's getting rid of. And all of these shirts, I kept thinking I could get rid of more and more, but I wear all of these shirts pretty regularly. So this is kind of how it ended up being. Now this computer and this white desk thing, it's not really a desk, but that ends up going into the kids' room. I'm pretty proud of myself with this amount of stuff out of the closet. Now, I didn't tackle my husband's side. This was mainly all my side. I kind of store household items or things that we need on my side, or my clothing. This is all clutter that, do I use? No. But I have gotten questions, have there ever been things that I have gotten rid of that I regretted? Honestly, there has been maybe 1 or 2 things, but the thing is, most of the time it was something very small that was easy to either replace, or I had several of, so I didn't really miss it. But here are the bags so far. This is from what's in my closet, and I end up getting rid of even more. So here is our game station we like to play games a lot as a family, and I was just double checking all of that. And then this is beautiful. I love it. But the thing is I don't have anywhere to put it. So I sat there and debated about it for a while, and then I went through all of our medicines and our first aid and got rid of a few things that we don't use regularly, because we don't need a ton of stuff regularly. We usually use Tylenol, kids Tylenol. Maybe I like to keep a little allergy stuff on hand and things like that. We do have more medicines up in the closet, but yeah, that's not something we go for regularly. Now, in Lana's room, I had an idea of the toys that I wanted to go ahead and declutter. So there are a lot of toys that she really doesn't really play with. And there was some things broken already from Christmas. that was her brothers. She's got 3 older brothers that she gets pretty mad at because they end up breaking her things, and her little new vacuum got broken too, and that was what I noticed was that's why she was crying, that her brothers broke that. So she doesn't really play with many babies. So I thought I'm just going to leave her with one baby. And there were 2 very similar, and one was much older looking, so I kept the new one. There are just a lot of things that I'm like, she doesn't really play with it too much. Now, this little house is new, so we're not going to get rid of that. But this is what we're left with after doing a bag. So I got a whole bag here of things that I wanted to declutter. Now, these are a lot what's new. So we got her some blocks and some kinetic sand, and I wanted to put that all into containers, and that's all up in her closet. But I was pretty proud. All right, one more bag down. And I told Jackson that if he could declutter some of his stuff, that that I would give him some money. So he is going through his own things on his own free will that he wants to declutter. So that way I am not pushing anything, and it's all teaching him to be able to declutter and to know what things he actually uses and what things he doesn't use. And right here, as I said, I do not want any decorative blankets. If it's not something that's going to keep us warm, that we like to snuggle to, I just can't stand blankets. It's just like throw pillows. They get thrown all on the ground. And I love this thing, but where am I going to put it? I shouldn't have bought it. And I don't use candles. So, yes, my mother-in-law got this Kindle for me, but honestly, that's one of those things that just because somebody got it for you doesn't mean you have to keep it. And it is so sweet, and I love that she got it for me for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. But the thing is I don't use candles. I don't typically keep lighters or anything to even light a candle. So, yeah, but these cups here, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring out all of my cups and look at them, and I kept debating about those, so I left them alone for a little bit, and we will return back after I've taken a break from looking at all my cups and trying to figure out which ones that I can get rid of. Now, what's important about and why decluttering, and this is what we're at now with our decluttering stage so far. Why I feel like it's important is because less makes it so much easier to declutter. And this right here, I love this pot, and it has been well used, but all this stuff right here, I've been so concerned with. So I haven't been wanting to use it because I don't want my family eating this toxic stuff. So I'm getting rid of it. So there are just always things that you can get rid of. And now that I've gotten rid of that pot, I got a place for my cups. These are the cups that I decided to keep, and yes, I still feel like it's too many, but it's a work in progress. So now we're up in kind of where I fix their lunches and our dishes, basically. And that right there is a container that we don't use. And here's my Tupperware. I like my glass Tupperware. I am not going to go for these. I do not like these. So we're getting rid of those. I don't need a lot of glass Tupperware. So that does us just fine with just that amount. And we're going to get rid of those. We don't need them. So I don't go for those. I don't like them. And if they can't stand the dishwasher, then definitely something that I'm not going to hand wash. So I'm just never going to grab for it, and I'm never going to want to use it if I can't just throw it in the dishwasher. So here's the thing, is this is what we ended up with. I counted it about 10 bags plus a few other random things and like a box. But now the kids are kind of helping me pack it all away into the car. And this was so relieving. And I just couldn't believe. Can you believe how much stuff is in your home? Like, I could not believe how much stuff this was. But I also wanted to say after I did my initial declutter, this was actually the next day. So if you're wondering, I wanted to go in and kind of go through a few of my deals and then clean this out, because after I pulled it all out, I realized how gross it was in there. And that's another reason why it's always good to have less. So yes, this first day was all about decluttering, and then the second day is a test to see how fast my house can get messy. So I went about 3 days with very minimal cleaning, hardly anything, and I wanted to see how messy. And so I wanted to do a test to see how messy my house is going to get without hardly any cleaning and things once it's decluttered. And the results were pretty shocking. And I show you my entire house and what it looked like after 3 days of no cleaning and just a little bit in the kitchen, and that was it. But there's just a few things that I know that I don't grab for, that I don't use, that I wanted to finish up. And I did a timer. I wanted to see, now that we have decluttered so much in my kitchen, how long is it going to take me to clean the kitchen? So if you are curious, make sure to stay towards the end for how long it takes to clean the kitchen, and I show you my timer and everything. You will not believe how fast this can get cleaned when there is not so much clutter in the way. I thought it'd be a good idea, now that I've done like a huge declutter, which I feel like I could always get rid of more, but besides the point, I thought it'd be a good idea for, now that it's been a few days, to kind of go back over everything and show you what my house looks like. So I haven't cleaned, and I figured now I'll show you what the rooms look like, and then we will clean the rooms. And then if you follow for next week, then you'll see even more of how clutter is kind of accumulating. Let's do a massive declutter, and then let's see how the house gets without much cleaning at all in between a few days. So let's go see what my house looks like. Here's my side. Lana's some shoes. Got her cats. I need to make the bed. Got my shoes that I need to put away here from wearing out this weekend. And a few things. I go put these up in my jewelry. Clippers and Lana's play deal. Now, I feel like this is really not that bad, especially seeing as how I really haven't cleaned all weekend, and I didn't clean that Monday really either. So I was pretty impressed with how just decluttered. Now, listen here, my husband's side is bad, okay? But that's one of those things, you can't just throw away a husband, okay? So, but it's okay. It took me like 2 minutes to pick up all of this. And like I said, the whole thing was we decided we were not going to pick up anything or clean anything for 2 to 3 days. The only thing I probably did was wash dishes, because when we were eating, that was the only thing I even did. So we are going to go look around my entire house, clean the rooms, and I will tell you how much time that it took to clean each room. My bedroom took me maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes to just clean up my husband's side and to wipe off our tables and to wipe off my desk and to make my bed, and then I vacuumed my room. And that took me about 10 minutes. I didn't time it. That's just what I noticed from my phone. Now, when I made it to the kitchen, I decided to show y'all the timer and the time that it took to clean my kitchen. That means washing dishes, putting dishes away, and and then putting anything that was out away, and then
that's good.
and then I was like, hey, we were only 10 minutes in, and then I was like, hey, let's do a mopping. So it's for me to do all of that in the kitchen plus mopping. It took me about 15 minutes to do everything that I needed to do in the kitchen. And the same thing for the bedroom. It took me so little amount of time to just pick up really quick when there isn't so much clutter. And then one thing that I was pretty glad that I got rid of was those 2 extra pillows that we don't sleep with. Because what are they doing? They're getting thrown on the floor. They're not being used, and I have 1 decorative pillow, and that is all that I need. And I love this gold pillow, so I just can't see myself getting rid of it. But yeah, and then there is my bedroom. And I did go in and decide to vacuum it because it needed it. But like I said, it took me about 10 minutes. Now, I just want to encourage you guys to start anywhere. For the new year, it's a new year. And it just makes cleaning so much easier. And you can clean those deep cleaning a lot easier, tackling those tasks, changing filters, all those things when you don't have clutter to work around. Now, my bedroom is always a little bit more cluttered than I would like, just because probably my desk, and then I brought in like a little mini fridge. That is because we like to keep a few sodas and we don't want them in the main fridge for the kids to grab without asking and things like that. So that's mainly why we have a mini fridge in our bedroom. I feel that it has made a world of difference. And in the living room, I am showing you what mess there is. But first, I was showing you Tristan has been about 1 minute and 10 seconds, and every time he solves a Rubik's Cube. So he has been loving that, and he has gotten a speed cube, so that has been so interesting. So the living room is done. It was just some shoes and a cup. I mean, wow. And then the dining room is kind of where a lot of, what she plays with. She's gotten a lot of this Connect Sand stuff for Christmas. So I was just picking up that real quick, and we have the containers already out, and boom, that's pretty much clean. And I'm gonna wipe off the table, pick up a couple of shoes, and wow. So yeah, less is best. And let me say that again, because less is best. That is how you're going to be able to control your home and be able to spend more time with your family and less time picking up junk or trash or toys or items. And you could spend more time playing with your kids, go taking them out. And that's what I'm telling you. We're done with the dining room. Now we're moving to the kitchen. Can you believe how fast this is moving now? And I am cleaning as I go. And here is where I do a timer, and I am timing how long it's going to take me to clean the kitchen. And then when I was done filming for the day, we all went to town as a family and had some fun, because look how fast this is going. So fast. I could not believe it. It took 10 minutes, about 10 minutes, maybe closer to 11 by the time I actually stopped the timer. And it was 15 minutes when I added on cleaning the fridge and mopping the floors. That was so fast. And I am telling you, if you are struggling with clutter and you just feel like you can't get rid of it, that it is something special to you, that you need it, I'm telling you, once you start letting that clutter go, your home becomes so much easier to manage. And there's a lot of my friends that are very good at decluttering, but there are some that aren't, and that need that help and that need that motivation to kind of tackle those areas. And I am telling you, this was days. This was 2 to 3 days we spent all weekend with no cleaning. And I was like, I want to see where the clutter is going to be at. Of course, I washed dishes, okay, because I had to fix food. But I have a very limited amount of dishes and things that I have. So I have to always wash dishes every night, no matter what, maybe even twice a day. But that's what I like. I like having it where it doesn't pile up and I have to wash it right away once I realize all the dishes are dirty. It makes it a lot easier. So now I wanted to show you all. Yeah, I even did extra things like refilling the tea and switching the milk into the little jar that I like to put it in. And no, you don't have to do all that, but that's just everything that I typically do in a day. So yeah, I don't know, you guys. If you need some New Year motivation to declutter, I hope that this is helpful to you. And here is where the timer is. I was right about 10 minutes and then 11 minutes when I was finally stopping it. But I was like, wow. That was me cleaning the whole kitchen, doing dishes, putting the dishes away. And then I was like, you know what? Let's keep going. I wanted to mop and I wanted to clean the fridge. So it took me 15 minutes to do the rest. And I even went in and mopped the dining room. So in all of cleaning the entire main area of the house, it took me about 20 minutes, maybe 30, to do the entire main house. That means also mopping. Now, I didn't vacuum the living room, but that was just picking up. So if you need some motivation, and we are a family of 6, and nobody was really, now the kids are getting a little bit better at not leaving messes, and they are getting a little bit better with picking up after themselves, but it is something that I still constantly have to tell them, like, pick up your plate when you're done eating. You put your plate in the sink or the trash, wherever it may be, because we do keep paper plates. That is just a luxury that we enjoy, is keeping paper plates. But yeah, now we're moving on to mopping. This took such a little amount of time. I just could not believe how decluttering makes such a big difference. And I honestly feel like I could declutter more. And I'm a very visual clutter person. So that's one reason why I do not like anything on the countertops. But yeah, if you're needing that motivation. And then I also get asked a lot how to start. And I'm like, start with a drawer. Start where you may not want to start in a huge cluttered filled closet, but start somewhere. And where I usually started when I first started the process was in the kitchen, because that's where I'm at all the time. So yeah, 15 minutes of mopping and everything else. I was like, wow. I was very excited. But yeah, start somewhere, get going. And also, just think about clutter instead of as it being important and meaning something to you. Think of clutter as it is taking up your peace of mind. Uh, and also, I get asked, are there things that I've gotten rid of that I miss? And honestly, no. I have never gotten rid of something that I absolutely had to go out and rebuy. Never. And that's the thing, is I usually get rid of multiples or things like that. And Lana's room was very quick too. I think I was in here about not even 10 minutes. I didn't time this one, but it took me such a little amount of time to just quickly pick up her room. And these are all things that she plays with regularly. So I definitely cannot get rid of things that she plays with regularly. She's kind of gotten to where I know exactly what she plays with. So, and I know what she doesn't like. So I'm not going to keep the things that I know she doesn't like. Although she doesn't really play with babies anymore, I still keeping one baby and some things that go with it, like diapers and stuff, even though she doesn't really play with it. But I always have a hope that she'll want to play with it. And every great once in a while, she'll play with her babies. But she loves her kitchen stuff. That is the main thing that she plays with. And so we bought her a new table. Now we're moving into the kids' room, and it was another, well, because it took me a little bit to figure out how to take apart this track, it took me more like 15 minutes to do this because I was struggling with this track. Now, I didn't come in here and vacuum. I was wanting to, but we ended up going and spending the rest of the day out and just had fun. So I cannot tell you how relieved I felt being able to tackle the whole house within like an hour. I mean, I tackled everything in my bedroom all the way to the only room that I didn't tackle were maybe bathrooms, and then I did not tackle my oldest son, but he keeps his room clean and very minimal on his own. So, yes, as you can see, I gave that other computer to the kids, and they like to play with it, Minecraft every once in a while on it, and they have a lot of electronics. And I know that I've been trying to stay away from electronics, but they're very limited to how long they can play with them. But for now, this is what's working, and they love it. And I might end up giving them a desk or something to go in here. But the thing is I'm always trying to limit everything that they have so that they're not having too much and then start taking for granted the things that they have. But anyway, I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.